So that was the result of the testimony. But I was getting to know Opie, my friend, and Jane, and they were ministering to children. They live in Eldoret in Kenya, and there's many, many orphans and destitute children. AIDS is an epidemic over there. Not only the parents, but the children as well. And every Saturday, Opie and his wife, they'd got permission from the government of Kenya to go out and wash the feet of these children. They get infected with parasites and worms, and they eat their feet. It's just horrible. And they go and wash their feet with Lysol. They go out into these villages, and every Saturday I would be asking them how their Saturday went. And one Saturday, Opie said to me that they'd come across a little hovel with two children who were starving. They were living with their grandmother who was dying of AIDS, and the children were eating the plaster off the wall. That's when I started to get actively involved. I asked Opie to arrange for his church to start visiting this family regularly. I don't have much money, but I started providing food for these children. We'd buy bags of maize and oil, and these two little kids, they started to feed and clothe, and they got medicine for the grandmother with the HIV. And one of the little boys was so infested with these horrible things that had to go to hospital, but they're better and going to school. He's 8 for the first time. He's able to go to school. So, I continued hearing the stories. And then one day, Opie had been out into a different village, and he sent me a picture of the face of a little girl. A tear-stained, beautiful face. And it was a knife that just went straight through my heart. And I said to him, how do we start an orphanage? I said, we've got to do something. And Opie and his wife had been praying for a long time to be able to start an orphanage. And so that was the beginnings. After that day when I said that we should start, how do we start an orphanage, I spoke to Raf, and he said that if I named the orphanage after me, that he would do a fundraiser for me, so thank you. So that's how it started. The next night I had a dream. I dreamt of this orange land, this orange rectangular piece of land with a bright blue shed behind it. And Opie told me, and I didn't know, he'd been out looking for land and he'd found 2 blocks. And I said, and one of them's got a bright blue shed behind it. He said, how did you know? Well, that's the word of knowledge in a dream. And that's the land that we want to buy. The vision is, I can't imagine a huge, great big orphanage with hundreds of children. What my vision is to just build a house, to buy that one little piece of land that the Lord has shown us that He wants us to buy, to build one house. Opie they're already training house parents. They're doing early childhood education that are willing to go into a house, and we'll start with maybe 6 to 10 children in one house and provide them a home with love and care, the same as we would give our children here, so that they can have a happy life and growing up in the nurture and knowledge of the Lord. And that is the beginning of the vision. Then I would love to have more land for a garden. Now, if that's successful, which I'm sure it will be, we'll build another house, etc., etc., until there's a village of well cared for, loved children. And of course, once a child is loved by the Lord, that person, when they grow up, is going to, like Raph said, it's a seed. It spreads. The Lord's love spreads. And it's desperately needed in Eldoret in Kenya. So I just thank you again and bless you all. Thanks, Raph.
Praise God. That wasn't hard at all, was it? There are things on your seat with all the details. If God touches your heart and you want to support that ministry, it's on the website, on those little cards. If God touches your heart and you feel to support it once or just an ongoing support, whatever God puts on your heart, and if He says nothing at all, that's okay too. But we're just, we've supported or started quite a few orphanages through this ministry already, and they're successful. They change people's lives in far-off countries. I think we've been involved in about 3 so far, and this is the 4th one. So I just want to encourage you, if God puts it on your heart, to get involved. It's a wonderful small vision, and I like that. I like that it's attainable, and once you see the success of it, it will continue.